Howdy folks, and welcome to 2023. This is a short channel update to keep you up to date with all the updates on the channel that are updating as we're channeling them into the channel for the updates. First thing, I'll probably be getting another second job this year, which is going to mean that the channel will go back to posting videos, I don't know when, sometimes one a month, one every 2 months, now and again, like it used to be between 2020 and last year. That's why I'm gonna ask Raul to switch up the Patreon to per video fees instead of per month fees, so that the 9 people that are still there who forgot to cancel their subscriptions aren't taxed needlessly and don't go into bankruptcy because of me. And not all the videos made this year will be in that Patreon feed. Some of them will just be the thing I tried to do last year, the not logged in YouTube recommendation feed cannon fodder, which I'm hoping will take off. So videos that are completely deprived of dialogue and are just made to show up in somebody's recommendations because they, as an unsigned in viewer, have the autoplay thing, skip to the next video, turn on by default. Proper videos will still show up from time to time. They won't be all that often. I am hoping to make a full, complete version, a stitched together version, of the Year.Game series. It's going to be about 11 hours long. I have to make some corrections to it as well, and I don't have any of the sorts videos, so I'm gonna have to try to splice together what's on the YouTube page. And YouTube only lets me download them back in 720p instead of the full 1080 in which they're made. Which kind of stinks, but hey, that's how it is. On the background, you may also be seeing some images from what looks like a terrible game with a duck. That's how far I got into making Quack Job last year. I decided instead of making the 2D prototype like I said I would do and should have probably done, I went into Unity and tried to make it there directly in 3D because I made a small mock-up and I liked how it looked. In terms of the blocking out, the perspective, and I thought, hey, well, it will probably wouldn't be that hard to, skip over the 2D prototype phase and make it all like this. But I neglected a few things. For example, Unity is currently in the process of switching from its legacy everything to the modern everything, which caused some confusion for me in terms of controls because after doing some upgrades, I couldn't control the duck anymore. I'm honestly not sure why getting controls to work on a simple element is so difficult in Unity. I would have thought it would have been simply a plug-in thing. Assign this thing to move at this rate with these controls instead of having to write some C# code to do it. I'm honestly not that in love with Unity. I should probably tried some more engines, but I ran out of hard drive space when I decided to actually get to work on it. May try Unreal Engine or Godot, since again Unity is, well, the asset store is amazing, it's superb. I don't really have a budget for the game, so using most of what's on it is a no-go anyway, so may as well go with something else. As for the content of the channel itself, I was going to make a lot more of it last year, but work got in the way. I was going to talk about my book a whole lot more. There was like a 7-part series about the book itself and the sequel, which is still being worked on when I have the time. There were going to be a lot more history shows. Just a few of them that I was working on were Recoil, which I got working in a virtual machine. I was going to do one about the Scooby-Doo games, which I mentioned the last year and didn't get around to making. There was going to be one about Warbirds, which was a game that I had on a CD once a long time ago. It was a multiplayer playing thing. Maybe if I get the chance, I'll still make a video about it this year. There was the Yaga video, which I have still forgotten to make. I was going to make a video about MechWarrior 5. It's better now than it was at launch, but that was under the assumption that they had released all the DLC for it. They haven't. There's still more coming, and they're constantly adding new updates for free, and the mods are just insane at this point. There are going to be more, a lot more videos in the Wankfest series, which I'm not even sure I can name it that now because YouTube changed its rules so you can't say stuff like wank in the title of a video, which That's wankery 101 right there. There is going to be a follow-up to my video about Phasmophobia. It wasn't really about the game itself, but more about that genre of spookums that showed up with Slender Man. I may still get to do it. Have played it considerably more than I did last year. I can't really say that my opinion of it has changed. It's still 95% boring as hell. And yeah, I was gonna... well, last year I felt that I was in the middle class and thought, hey, I'm gonna buy Star Citizen and make videos about it. But the game is $70, so I'm gonna probably have to put that off until I see if the second job actually, pays money. Maybe enough to even get a new video card, because this one, if you don't know, I got my current video card kind of in desperation because the RX 480 exploded. My spare video card only had 1 gigabyte of video memory, which was not enough to do my second job properly. None of the projects I was working on functioned on that little memory. So I got a 1660 with 6 gigs of RAM, thinking to myself, yeah, the 3000 series is going to come out any day now. I'm gonna get a 360, 370. They're gonna be cheap and powerful and have lots of RAM. And the prices exploded like hell, and I got stuck with this thing. Now the 4000 series is out. It costs just as much, if not more. Actually, no, it does cost a whole lot more. The 470 Ti is just outrageous in terms of price. They all are. Anywho, if the second job pays well enough, I may end up getting a 3060, not a Ti, because I need the 12 gigs of VRAM, which it comes with. Kinda wish it was a more powerful card, but that's not gonna happen. And I need a specifically CUDA, so even though the AMD ones, most of them have 16 gigs of RAM or more, I'm stuck with NVIDIA for now. But if I do end up getting a better video card, I will try and make those Star Citizen videos, because this may shock you, but I like Star Citizen. Yeah, it's been in development for ages. It'll still be in development for ages more because they're making something stupidly complex. The single player has a system which generates puddles on a ship for its AI janitor to go to, clean, then find other puddles in the ship, go there, clean them, and repeat the cycle, all the while giving all sorts of folksy wisdom to your character, as opposed to, having him walk around in a set pattern. It's stupid, but at the same time you have to respect that kind of stupidity, because it is driven by probably megalomania, but also an earnest attempt at making a simulated world, which is always nice to have. And I think I may also make a video about Return to Monkey Island, since I did spend my Christmas bonus buying it. I played it and I have feelings about it. And in case you're asking how I knew about the ending with the t-shirt, that's the only way it could have ended. They wrapped it up in a lot more pathos than I thought they would, but it could not have been anything other than the t-shirt. Anything else would have gone against the established joke. Well, that's kind of it for the updates for the channel. This year I may actually use my forthcoming income, which again I hope actually is income and not outgo from the second job, to finally get a pop filter. I've been putting off getting one for 15 years, but I think it's time. I think it may actually be time. So have a great year, everybody. I know many people won't. So let's try and do our best to make it bearable for everybody. Goodbye.